Well, Mum, I was a child with a dream looking up to the stars. Now I've seen the unimaginable wonder of space, carried by our mothership, which carries your name and will carry the next generation of dreamers into space. You were always a dreamer. You urged me to strive for every opportunity I saw. You told me to chase my wildest fantasies and to live life to the full. Well, the brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all.
And then it happens. One day you wake up.
So he got to share something that is very mind intriguing about Africa. The world always has plans for Africa, but when do we make plans for ourselves?
Every region in the world has had a plan for Africa. Africa has never had a plan for all the regions in the world. What's East Africa's plan for the domination of the steel manufacturing sector in China?
The world will look and feel very different. The rate of change is itself speeding up, and 20 years from now, power will have shifted dramatically. So who might be up and who might be down 20 years from now? Let me take you on a journey of possibles. Up Africa.
Yes, starting this with all smiles. Sophia Wawero is my name, mother of light, founder of Happy Humans podcast, and I'm here today to share the vision of how this began. The journey of delayed gratification, self-discovery. Sometimes we lose the patience in hunting for who we are, but the glory is in keeping it going because there's so much beauty in that. And I'll tell you about the sides of going through it, literally. Sometimes we assume it's a smooth curve. No, it is not. Sometimes we face fear, we face rejection, and rejection is always redirection. Rejection is God's protection, and it's part of the process. Everything is always connected, so we learn to embrace that. So I'll share a short story of my journey of self-discovery. Right now, I am running the channel, but how did the channel become? I had to do the journey myself of self-discovery, self-mastery, to living as the best version of myself. So it all began in 2019, August. You know, there's science behind 3 a.m.s. So I would wake up at 3 a.m., my brain is just on overdrive. I'm just writing so many things, thinking out loud, thinking about the bigger picture. A 5-year strategy, how would life look like? Like, can I create my own life? Can I take the power into my own hands to shape my life? And that is what exactly started happening from the year 2019. It was shaky at the beginning, and then you get to blossom and learn from it. It's a journey. Sometimes you have to be alone, because sometimes we feel like we always need to have people around us as we are on this journey, but sometimes it's a very personal journey, and it is very, very, very okay. So by 2021 August, I could now at least put something down. And when I started to do that, I came up with a whole presentation. So small nuggets here and there, and you can build something with that. So with that creative space, I was able to really search from deep within and see how would this look? How would there be a bigger picture of my dreams? So this relates to everything I've already shared on my last 2 videos about my corporate journey for the 7 years, because the journey of self-discovery has actually happened in my corporate space when I'm still working. So in the beginning, I thought my corporate space is actually where I'll get to live my purpose. But then I was not really into the bigger picture of you can actually run a YouTube channel, you can share light with the world. I always used to do that for years and years via my WhatsApp. So I would share with family, friends, as well as share on the status, and people would respond to that. So it got to a point later, so that is this year, that I actually figured out that, last year actually, that I can actually get a point of reference for everything I get to share, which is beneficial to me and everyone that gets to get this. Billions Happy Humans, it was always and is always the first name of this podcast, because the goal is to share light with 1 million and billions of humans out there. So what I'm just about to share is that journey of the bigger picture. And by then, the much I could see and the much I knew how then was the corporate space. So I was trying to figure out my personality, my vision, how can I embody it into the corporate space? So I came up with a proposal, which I really put everything that was in my capacity back then to work on. That was in the year 2021. And it starts with a very interesting video that I really, really love. It's A Letter to My Mom by Richard Branson. I really, really love everything about this because it talks about the journey. I'll share this video. You can now get to watch it. I will let you enjoy it, and I'll share my feedback right after that.
Dear Mum, you always told me to reach for the stars. Well, I took my own winding road, but I always knew to follow your lead. You always pushed us to our limits. When I was a child, you threw me out of the car miles from our house and urged me to find my own way home. You let me jump into a river to sink or swim. You and Dad taught me and my sisters independence and loved us with fierceness and tenderness. You were always an adventurer. You took glider lessons dressed as a boy, enlisted during World War II, toured Germany as a ballet dancer after the war. You flew treacherous routes as intrepid cabin crew for start-up airlines. You took us into the great unknown on family holidays. You treated every day as a chance to explore. Before the word existed, you were always an entrepreneur. You helped make ends meet by creating your own small businesses. You showed me how to grow a company, how to treat people, how to be creative, how to balance work and play, how to live. You were always a romantic. You and Dad showed Joan and me the way to build a life filled with humor and heart, hope and humility, honesty and happiness. You showed us the value of kindness, the magic of laughter, the beauty of music, and the joy of family. You were always my guiding light at Virgin Galactic. You shared with me that the day we named our mothership VMS Eve was one of your happiest. You always knew Eve would start my journey to space one day, just as I always knew you would do the impossible for me. Well, Mum, I was a child with a dream looking up to the stars. Now I've seen the unimaginable wonder of space, carried by our mothership, which carries your name and will carry the next generation of dreamers into space. You were always a dreamer. You urged me to strive for every opportunity I saw. You told me to chase my wildest fantasies and to live life to the full. Well, the brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all.
How you lived, how you loved, and how you are missed. Dad always said, "Isn't life wonderful?" And you both showed us it was.
Always.
What do you think about the video? Did it take you on a trip as it did to me? It speaks passion, and when you look at Richard Branson, it all makes sense now. Virgin Galactic. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words. We just watched a powerful video, so it speaks a gazillion words. It's always been my point of reference on the journey of self-discovery, because it makes you look from deep within, your inner child. You used to dream. What was that dream? Why is the dream moving further instead of closer as the years are going by? Food for thought. Great. So, audacious, big, hairy, audacious goals is where it got me. You get out of your comfort zone. That's what I did get to do, and I thought of a 5-year strategy, came up with what is the bigger picture, how does that look like? That is me absorbing the whole moment for what the journey has been, and it's how it has led me to where I am today. All I'm trying to say is, when you're hunting for what your passion and purpose is, you get to try anything and everything, and that is what I did. I got out of my comfort zone, came up with a presentation deck to present to the different stakeholders from where I have been working for the past 7 years. And what you get with life is try everything. That's a song by Shakira. Try everything. Try everything, even if you could fail. That's what I did. I put it out there. Putting it out there got me into great spaces with very powerful people. When you do that, it shows your hunger for growth and hunger for getting extreme great results in life, getting to deliver results. So with this presentation, I'll focus on the videos because it has some slides that I worked on that are more internal based, but I like visual presentations. So I'll focus on the videos, which I'll share the storyline with the videos, because anything that we get to talk or write about is already existing in the universe. So it's just about aligning it into the specific path you are on in your life. The next video that I'll be there to share with you is actually a project of BBC. They got to do this, showcasing where will the world be by the year 2039. And so I found this so lovely. And so I was thinking about the impact we create on a day-to-day basis. As Copia, we are an impact company. So I was thinking, what is our relevance when it comes to where the world will be by the year 2039? And more so, Africa. Africa is our home, it's our heritage. I don't want to spoil the video, so please go ahead and enjoy watching it.
By 2039, the world will look and feel very different. The rate of change is itself speeding up, and 20 years from now, power will have shifted dramatically. So who might be up and who might be down 20 years from now? Let me take you on a journey of possibles. Up, Africa. World will look and feel very different. The rate of change is itself speeding up, and 20 years from now, power will have shifted dramatically. So who might be up and who might be down 20 years from now? let me take you on a journey of possibles. Up Africa panels. To quote one energy guru, the world will have learnt to put solar panels where the sun actually shines. Also up China. The superpower. After cornering many of the world's vital raw materials, could it now control both its own people and many other countries struggling to repay its loans? Could we see a world where China exerts its influence through movies and music too? But if there are winners, which countries could be losers by 2039? Down, perhaps most of Europe. Financial services and banking will be overwhelmingly driven by AI, so Europe loses much of its global edge. Parents who once urged children to become lawyers and doctors begged them to become designers, artists, even actors. Anything creative, not easily done by robots. Down, but not out, the United States of America, eclipsed by China and paying a price for getting late to wind and solar. Also down, the Middle East, largely ignored internationally because no one needs its oil and gas anymore. So what commodities could be driving the future in 2039? Fossil fuels have become the new forbidden fruit. Oil has lost most of its value. Alternative fuels plus a collapse in the use of plastics has seen to that. Water, clean water, will be more precious than ever. Water wars have replaced oil wars. Along the Nile or any mighty river, conflicts could break out as states closest to the sea fight those further upstream accused of taking too much of the water. Data, however, will be king. By 2039, more and more is being bought and sold, mostly illegally and in secret. All governments will rely on data as the method of control. Some countries will have followed the Scandinavian lead by choosing near total transparency of tax returns, earnings, lifestyles to reduce the secret data threat. And more citizens everywhere could be fighting back, becoming data refuseniks. Fed up with the negative effects of social media, will they simply abandon cyberspace wherever they can, minimizing their electronic footprint, even reverting to writing and delivering private messages by hand?
Isn't it? Right? It's so powerful. When you think about it, we actually have everything as a continent, literally. It's in our hands to turn the world around. There's one motivator. He's actually, I would prefer to call him a business coach. I know he's so many things. I love his approach to how he goes about so many things that he gets to share with the world. He's from South Africa. He's called Vusi. So he got to share something that is very mind-intriguing about Africa. The world always has plans for Africa, but when do we make plans for ourselves?
The history of global economics, certainly the era of modern economics since 1820s really, you realize that every region in the world has had a plan for Africa. Africa has never had a plan for all the regions in the world. What's East Africa's plan for the domination of the steel manufacturing sector in China? I say these things to reflect, not to criticize, just to reflect. So we don't have a plan for the world. For the longest time, the world has happened to Africa. For the longest time, the future has happened to Africa. We don't happen to the future. We're sitting in this room right now. I promise you it's not getting streamed on a platform built by an African. These cameras that have been used, not made in this continent. These threads we're wearing, probably not made here. Everything we do every day is like it's a importation of the global standard.
And then it happens. One day you wake up.
It's always about people coming from out there to do great things in our continent. But when we actually attained our independence, coincidentally, today is 1st June of 2023, which is Madaraka Day in Kenya, when we celebrate when we attained freedom as a country in 1963. But where is the freedom? We have all the resources. You've watched that. Like, Africa will be king. And getting into that, solar, data, we will have it all. There is something I'm very passionate about, waste management. If you look at how we approach the hygiene taking care of our ocean, my goodness, we have so many great oceans, but what do we do about them? I remember COVID was just the other day, but the level of pollution in the oceans is just so crazy. There were billions and still billions of masks being collected from the ocean. It's a sad state of affairs, and only us that we can get to save our own world, global space. So, in the tech and the fintech space. So, right now the world is evolving so fast, so fast. There's so much we can do with efficiency and simplicity. It's just beautiful just getting to go through this. I'm about to share something very, very interesting that I got to add into this presentation. When you're a visionary, you actually create things. I'm not really big on vision boards, and it's because of what you're strong at. When you manifest something, it can be so in your mind that you can see it. You literally can see it. And I admire creatives because they're really good at putting that down on paper. It's still a work in progress for me. I hope I can create a vision board in the very future. Actually, this is a vision board. I did create this. It's a vision board. So coincidentally, when I was doing this, I was doing it from a point of where I am, as I said, what I knew best by then. So as you can see, this was me thinking about the social space. And Oprah has always been an icon for me. If you go back to the first video, you meet Oprah in the book What Happened to You by Dr. Bruce Perry. And Oprah, yes, this is a slide from 2021. But then I was yet to read What Happened to You. I read it last year, that is 2022. But from this, I was thinking about the current space I am in. So from this picture, we have the founder of Copia and the CEO presenting Copia as a big brand out there because we are an impact company. And obviously, Forbes by now gets to know us. So putting this down, and by then, I could see myself working with Oprah in her garden. So she has avocado trees. So I could just see myself walking around with her. But by then, I didn't know that it was from a point of reference of Happy Humans podcast, because that is the journey I am currently on. Yes, someone might hear this and they're like, Sophia, you must be crazy. But that's what it takes. You have to embrace and manifest the spirit of everything you feel from within to without, because only you can imagine what the future can look like. So that's exactly what I was doing in that space. And now I would actually redo this now with me in mind, thinking about that bigger picture. How would that look like? Because that is the journey I currently am on. And it's something that Oprah has been very passionate about, the journey of people getting to heal from childhood traumas, getting to discover who you are, showing up for who you are, boldly, confidently, and sharing right with the world. It's such a lovely time because I had shared from the previous video, The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama. They have a documentary in Netflix just from the other day, I think it's a month ago, where they're going through the last tour that Michelle was doing for the Light We Carry book. And it's so beautiful, like embracing light everywhere. So I'm so happy that now I can get to interconnect everything that I've been working towards. And the reason I'm doing this is to show the vision can be vague at the very beginning, but with time, it gets clearer and clearer. And it's the journey of not stopping. If you can think about it, that was 2021. Now we're in 2023, and I'm just beginning the journey of billions happy humans. I think this will be the 11th or 12th, and I love 11. It's a big number in the power of the universe. So I don't know if that will be the number by the time I'll be sharing this step. I prefer to call them steps. We need to get to 1,000 steps in that journey of 1,000 miles. So I love doing what I'm doing right now, sharing light with the world. Let's see where it takes us. And the plan as we speak right now, what are the odds? I want to work with someone who can support me in learning social media spaces very well and get coverage of Happy Humans podcast in LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and get to grow the brand. So I would love to revisit this video, Good Vibes and Inshallah, 5 years from now. So that will be 2028. And see, how did we do? How did we do with all the social platforms that are available to see Billions Happy Humans podcast doing the best that it can? By simply believing and starting from here, you have to start where you are. I like what is down here. People relate to stories and spread them. It will get to Oprah Winfrey.
So my name is Sophie. As I hand over this certificate and this goodie bag to you, it's really to appreciate you for being such a customer-centric staff, not only under the FS, what we present you here, but over the years. I met you 4+ years ago as I was under your leadership, and I can tell you for free, under the time, this is something I have seen you do, and you can only keep it up. So keep winning, keep doing so much. Thank you and congratulations, Sophie.
Dad always said, "Isn't life wonderful?" And you both showed us it was.
Always.